media house. I'm a co-founder there, and I also work everything that doesn't include development and design. Except for this presentation, our designer was away and he couldn't provide me with a PowerPoint template first. Could you please raise your hands? How many of you are developers? Okay, almost all of you. When you think about developing something, how often do you think how it will look or how it will function? Raise your hands. So which one of you thinks on how it will look? Okay. And everybody else, how it will function? Well, basically you have to think of both things at the same time. How many of you thought when I stood up and started talking, how nice she is, she doesn't cough, she speaks too fast, too slow, I don't know, she didn't trip on anything? Probably none. Everybody thought, what am I wearing on myself? Do I have too much makeup on me? Or too little? Maybe I should wear my hair straight? Am I too tall, too fat, too skinny, too whatever? Is that the first thing you think when you think of someone? When you meet someone, when you see them?
The first impression.
Yeah, exactly. That is basically the look. You cannot get into anybody's soul until you meet them a little bit better. So this is why I'm going to be talking about the fact that it's not all about the development, and sometimes it is about the appearance. This is not going to be a pure Drupal tools for marketing session. It's going to be a combination of marketing and Drupal. So, which one of you has their own company, wants to start their own company in future, have thought about it? Okay, there's a lot of people raising hands for this thing. How many of you know design, marketing, sales, finance, anything else besides coding? 3, 4. Okay, 5. Those of you who want to start a company, because most of you raised hands, are you thinking about learning any of those things? Yeah? Okay, good. So you don't have a choice. When you're going to have a startup, don't expect that you will be having around 1 million euros to start it and to build it with 10 people. And if you build it with 10 people and with no money for their salary, that means that you're going to have 10 co-founders, which leaves you with 10%. If you ever start a product with 10 co-founders, each having 10%, you will never be able to find investors for example. And when you're developing a product, what is the first thing that you think of?
Who's going to use it?
Okay, good.
What
First,
problem it solves?
yeah. Anything else?
How does it look?
Okay, good. Anything?
Usability.
Good. So 3 out of 4 answers were based on the customers. They're all equally important. But the most important thing when you're creating something, of course, because you're creating it probably for business purposes, is who is going to use it and if they're going to pay for it. Unless nobody wants to pay for something, that means that you're working for useless. You should probably register an NPO, that is a non-profit organization. So you even might end up losing money in that case. Which one of you knows what lean product development or lean startup means? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I will explain this. Lean means that you're putting your, let's say, alpha or beta version in the hands of your customers and they give you feedback how to improve it. So that means customers tell you what should you do next. This is not only when you're building your own product, but it's a good advice to give this to your clients. Even if you're the developer who outsource any kind of solution, it is a good thing thing that you can advise your customers to do this with their product that you're developing for them. So lean used to be a trend in the previous year. Now lean is actually not even a choice, it's a must. Because if you're building something, imagine you're building something, I don't know, for 1 year. And you finish it, and then you realize that you have went to a totally wrong direction. Why? Because your customers tells you that they think otherwise, they would use it in another way, and so on and so on. It would probably, I don't know, spend you like at least 6 months if you do it by giving them the first version of the product and changing directions if necessary when they give you feedback for it. So, okay, cool. Those who have a startup, how well do you know your customers? Well, not well, you're doing something and then trying to sell it. How did you, who raised their hand about their company? Okay, Jeff, can I tease you a little bit? When you create some product, you said that you think about how it will look, you think about your customers. So, how well do you know your customers?
Well, where I work right now, we're pretty lucky that we know them pretty well. We work with them pretty closely. So I think that we can guess a lot of these things, and we have enough customers that do complex things, so they might come back and they might say, your platform is great for this, but it's missing these things. So we're kind of lucky about that, though.
Yeah. Okay, good. So the reason why I put this is that the first thing that you need to do when you come up with an idea is to do some market research. That means until you are ready to answer all of these questions, you should not start with anything. Yes, you're going to have to do the market research very quickly. You're going to have to do a good one. This is not, a business plan research and you're supposed to show somebody that you know who you're dealing with and what you're doing, but this is a real research that's going to help you in future to save a lot of money. Probably if you work in a bigger company, this is something that the marketing people are going to do, but on another side, you have to, as a developer, understand how they function, how they think, so you would know how they would click things, what would work for them, and so on. So, who they are, even if you know you can pinpoint by names. First is, companies or regular people. And then you have dividing them, where they come from, where can I find them, what do they do, do they have a job or not, are they developers, marketing, and so on and so on. A very important thing is when you're creating something for a customer is what do they need and what do they want. They might want splash pages and things that would confuse, everybody who tries to enter their website. And they want to put the logout button on the bottom of the page. I have seen this in, anybody play Fantasy Premier? Come on, so many guys? Okay, I used to do a usability testing for Fantasy Premier. It took me 26 minutes to find where the logout button was. Because it's not in the upper right corner where it usually is, but it's on the lower left on the sidebar.
And it's a trick.
Yeah, you can never log out.
Nice idea.
Yeah. So, when you actually talk to your customers, they might really want some strange things. I mean, you have probably visited or heard about customers from hell, dilemmas whether you should reject one customer or not, because those are customers that have unrealistic needs. What you need to do is to educate them and tell them maybe you do not need this, or maybe you do not want this anymore because you actually need something like this. if you provide advice for your own customers, they will appreciate you more. That means that you will have a better product in the end in your portfolio and happier people that work with you. And they will be a lot more happy to pay to you for the free advice that have gotten.
Sorry, can we ask questions?
Yeah, sure.
So how do you actually reconcile the wants and needs? Because that's the, secret ingredient.
Yeah. Okay, basically it is about your knowledge, what you know about the product, what can it do. And I'm a marketing person, for example. I do understand technology, but I don't know everything about it. And every time I think of something, I'm asking, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we integrate 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things? Because I always want more and more and more and more. I don't know from a developing side how much effort it takes. Okay, regardless, I'm talking about, one situation and another. And I just know what I want my users to be able to do. And people, as they are, they usually, imagine something and they think they should do it this way. But you are the expert in this field. I'm not a designer, and I thought that my presentation should look like this. A designer might stand up and slap me in the face for it. And yeah, so you should actually advise them and tell them that you think differently on whatever thing you feel that should be done a little bit different. It's just advice, it's not a must. In the end, you even have the choice not to sign on the project that it has been done by somebody. But you should actually, give them the opportunity to think otherwise.
From my experience, customers don't deal with abstracts too well. They want to see what it's going to look like and how it's going to work. So, you don't always have time for prototyping and the long process of developing the product. It also depends on budgets and time constraints. So basically, are there any other ways that you approach this? Because I have problems sometimes in that respect, even with whether the clients are internal in my organization or they're someone from the outside. It's always about getting them that mental model of what you imagined about their need and the end product that resolves it into their own head.
I think that making that more plastic so they would be able to see it is to create a case study for them. Because that will actually show the entire process and see if there is something that they would like to do differently. I think case studies are the best thing that you can do. That spends you a lot more time than doing anything else before you develop something. Then you create mockups, workflows, and so on and so on. So, I'm going to talk about the marketing trends in 2014 because this year it's still, and some prediction what's going to be like till the end of the year. It's still a little bit early to confirm it, but this is about what was happening in 2014. I'm going to go one by one, and I would like to say that 2014 and still in 2015, content on the internet means everything. Which one of you blogs? Yeah, that's it. 3. Do you ever write anything or have written a how-to? Do you know good English? Or you don't even have to know good English. You can blog in your own language. Blog is good because your potential customers could get to know you, even without actually dealing with anything with you previously. They get to know how you think. They get to know, how you solve problems, who you are, what you do, things like that. On the other hand, it's also good for search engine optimization. The blogs also build your SEO. I also do blogging, and I would like to tell you that, for example, we started our company in February, and 2 of our clients so far has called us because they read our blog. And we still just tweet it or publish it on Facebook or something like that. There's another good platform because most of you are from the Balkans, Blogirama. Everybody who has a blog or posts something about blogging, Blogirama is asking for them to take it on their site. You just need an RSS feed and it will probably boost your traffic a lot more. Another thing about blogs is that if your blogs get more visits, it also, of course, brings more traffic on your site. That means that you can also, in future, put some AdSense on the blog, and it will bring you a few extra bucks every month. Another good thing is to send newsletters, but don't send newsletters in the type of, hey, we got a new product, you should buy it, this is why you should buy it. Then you have the next newsletter saying 3 reasons why you should buy our product. Then you said we have a discount, then we have another discount, and so on. You should try to learn how to sell without actually selling. And the blogs is also a good thing. If you write blogs, you can send your customers a summary of your blogs, so they can then refer to your site if they want to read a little bit more. Another thing is, of course, social media. Probably you all think about integrating social media on all of the websites that you do. And videos, that's like the new trend thing, videos, images, and so on and so on. So, okay, how many of you use any kind of social media? All of them. Sorry? Okay. This is some, I don't know if you can actually read the list very well. It says that Facebook has the biggest number of users who use social media, then Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and so on and so on. Snapchat is at the end of it, but I would tell you that I still think it has a lot of potential for business, only businesses have not really decided how to use it. When you think about using social media, and every time I ask somebody, how are you going to advertise yourself and how are you going to gain new users, they usually tell me, I'll put a Facebook ad. It's probably good for targeting, but that depends, of course, if your target audience is on Facebook. They may also not be. A lot of people I know, for example, hate Facebook because I do social media marketing and I have no choice but to maintain it. Another thing is that now Twitter gives you ads, YouTube also, which I think they're kind of spamming and annoying. But it also might be a solution for somebody. And of course you have to think, the previous thing I mentioned, that you should know your customers. Actually, you should know where they are, what social media tools they use, so you would actually know where to place your ads. You should not also forget about Instagram, Pinterest, and media like this, because, well, pretty much we can take everything from images. Let's say we do logo designs at Fox Media and we decided to put them on Instagram or Pinterest. Just to gain, some extra user. It doesn't make a difference to me if I share an image on 4 different social media or just one. And if you decide to use YouTube, it would be actually excellent to educate your own customers. So this is what I mentioned about image-centric content as a rule. This was also another trend. What we saw is actually that those who post anything that has a good image on it gets more likes, retweets, faves, or whatever. And of course, as the more the humor the image has, it's more memorable and gains more traction. So, yeah, this is why I picked some of the Drupal logos with different, this actually means beginner, proficient level, and ninja level for Drupal or set camps. I took it from someone's camp. But I bet that some of you will remember this image. And of course, where you mostly should put your images which are Pinterest, Instagram, and Flickr as social media tools. And you should then, of course, integrate them with your own website. How many of you agree with the fact that less is more? Okay. A lot. Most of the times when we are trying to create something, then we put too much content in it, too much function, and then half of the functions are not even usable, half of the functions may confuse our customers, and so on and so on. So in that case, we have put a lot of effort into confusing our customers rather than helping us. A clear design, easy design, which doesn't have a lot of photos, a lot of text on it, is a lot more easy for the customers to manage in future. And you should always have that in mind. And if this thing has a lot of functions, maybe you should also think about the opportunity to splitting those functions and give your users some customization. If I want, I don't know, a combination of a customer relationship management system and a project management system, maybe someone will just use one of them, someone will use the other, and very few will use both of them. So this means by developing one product, you have actually created 3 options for your customers. This is some campaign I used for L'Oreal. I hope I didn't make you a lot hungry because lunch is going to be soon. When you create your websites, how often do you try to make them mobile friendly? Always? Always and no exception.
If the customer have budget, yeah.
Yeah. What you need to tell them, yeah, of course, probably most of you know the new Google ranking rule, no mobile friendly, that ruins your search engine optimization. And another thing is that if you are actually creating some content, and you have to think actually where users get to read it from. Because if I open something, you post something on Facebook, I usually read my Facebook on my phone, and then I just click on the link and I have to see something that I can use on the phone. If I need to zoom in, zoom out, go left, go right, then I will probably quit in the first 10 seconds and that would be it. So you always have to think about this. This is actually a real picture of, I forgot which country it was. They really decided to use a lane for people who have cell phones in their hands. So that means, like, beware when you're walking, I'm not watching, and the other ones are actually the people who are very fewer and walk without cell phones in their hands.
How do they see the sign when they look in the phone?
There are actually some apps that use your front camera when you're walking to actually see where you're going, for example. It was really a nice feature for it. I mean, people are really phone addicts at this time, so you absolutely must not ignore the amount of audience that are using anything over their cell phone, and you always have to think mobile. I still think that the web is not going to be dead until because of the mobile phones. I'm much more bigger fan of web than mobile, but you must not ignore them. Does anybody know what ad retargeting means? Okay, I guess the only non-developer, except for me.
Yeah.
That means, have you ever tried to find a hotel on Booking, and then you clicked on it, and when you exit that site, then you see that hotel in every freaking place on the internet where you go. It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's on Google Ads, on the side of every portal that you are looking at. When you're reading an article, it's somewhere in the middle, and it keeps reminding you that you forgot to check into that hotel. So that's what ad retargeting means. That if you have started, for example, a process, or of course it leaves cookies on your computer, and then it's hunting you everywhere. But the good thing about, yes, it might be annoying sometimes. It's also annoying for me. But for example, I learned some good example of, and there's no one here from Croatia, They also got an investment of 1.2 million euros from the RSG Capital from Slovenia. Actually they got this fund after they created their mobile app builder, and they're spending most of their money for marketing. That is a lot of money to spend on marketing, but when of course, they were, I had the CEO of the company as a keynote at one conference I did a few months ago, and ever since I liked their Facebook fan page, now I see it everywhere. But the thing is, it really got me thinking, hey, maybe it's not a bad idea that I could use this thing and do a mobile app on my own, just to see how it works. So maybe in 1 of 10 cases, 9 will be annoyed, but you will get 1 customers. And of course, they're effective. I mean, you get charged if someone clicks on it, so you're pretty much on the safe side with your budget. And of course, the last trend, which do you know what search engine optimization has changed into in 2015? What is going to be actually the next big thing when we're talking about optimization?
Mobile search?
Yeah. It's the short of it is ASO. It's App Store Optimization. So yeah, when you create something, you're gonna have to actually think about it as well, because most of the, well, some of the designers and some of the developers create web thing, and then they try just to optimize it for mobile. But many of the customers actually want their mobile app as well, so you're gonna have to think about that. Does anybody know what social signals mean? It's actually, I like this, I retweet this is interesting. It's feedback from the customers. Anything they click like actually builds your credibility, and then also builds in the process your search engine optimization. So it means that if you integrate your site with any of the social media tools, then you can you get more shares and likes, it gets more popular, then you get more visitors on your site, that builds your credibility and puts you a little bit higher on Google, for example. A few things about Drupal and marketing. So this is probably actually something you should tell your marketing people what Drupal can do for them, if they don't know it already. You probably know that those of you who actually work with Drupal already know that it is good, very well integrated with customer relationship management systems. And Salesforce, which is actually the largest customer relationship management system in the world, with the biggest user base, also has guidelines on their site how to integrate it with Drupal. Another thing I mentioned is, of course, it's important, search engine optimization. And Drupal is also very, very good at that. It pretty does it automatically. And the greatest thing about it is actually it helps you create a customer URL without a lot of effort. Because when you're trying to share a page with someone, if you don't have a customized URL, then you're gonna have, let me send you the link, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 rows, and then you have to shorten it, and so on and
The
so on.
new thing for URL links, it's not considered for Google searches.
Sorry?
Since last year, Google search does not consider the URL link, the name of the link does not consider,
As good for the search engine optimization?
No, it's not good. No, it's not good. It's good, of course, but it's not listed for Google
It's a
search.
weaker signal, but it's
Yeah,
not.
it's really weak. Weekend since I don't know.
I'm not just saying about the search engine optimization and the short URL, but I'm also talking about when you're sharing your URL, it looks a lot differently. It has like one word describing it well than 50 others.
Can you still stick with SEO for a moment?
Yeah.
What about the other on-page SEO elements? That's what I'm interested in as far as Drupal is concerned. I haven't really done the research. Can you can you edit or basically have an impact on title elements, meta description, open graph tags?
You can set them
Of
all
course, you can have full control of
How
all.
deep does it go?
as deep as you need it.
And it's native.
No, it's maybe
We have a module, but that's native.
Okay, I mean,
meta technology.
cool, cool.
With the bundle of contributed model, you have a full control of every element you need to modify about this.
Okay. Another thing, for those who are not developers, me and you, as I mentioned, content is really important, and Drupal also provides a content construction kit which actually does not really require any development skills. So it's also a good thing to look at, and it will actually help you define your own content types and whatever you need for your site. If anybody does an email campaign, most of you probably use MailChimp. Drupal also can be easily integrated with MailChimp, but another thing is that it has its own cool tools about sending emails. I don't like a few things about MailChimp. It always goes into promotions. You don't get a notification for it. And it always has the branding of MailChimp, and I don't want anybody's brand on my own brand. Also, of course, the social media tools, it's easy to integrate. You can just add all the icons in the design and quickly do this with their own module. Another really important thing is when you're creating a campaign, this is specifically for some kind of a marketing campaign, is that you can easily create landing pages with Drupal. Landing pages are really cool because you just bring your customers to a part of your site where you actually just give them the information and do not confuse them with all the rest of the information.
How easy is it to create landing pages? I mean, are we talking about Instapage kind of functionality where it's all drag and drop, click and point, or do you need to work?
You just need to work.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do your CSS and styles.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to achieve.
You want to land.
Yeah, what you want to have.
If you're landing an airplane, you need a big.
Okay. And of course, the last and as I said, the most important thing is Drupal is mobile friendly, so it will solve a lot of your issues. For our own website, we just did the web, and we used some template which was responsive. We didn't have any headaches with creating, modifying anything for mobile, and most of the Drupal templates that you have, I think they are responsive. So, but of course, if you want to have a mobile app, that's your thing.
And also in Drupal 8, the main things will be because it will be.
Everybody
Okay, so we're at the end. If there are any other questions, you can feel free to ask now. Or if not, these are my contacts. At Fox Media House, I usually tweet about IT, technology, and events. This other thing is my personal account. I tweet about everything. Mostly in Macedonia. So yeah, before you leave, I would like to share some, let's say, important information about those of you who chose this session. Has anybody ever been on a startup weekend or knows what it is? Okay. Those of you who do not know, it's actually an event where young people share their ideas. The event gives the opportunity to the people to create teams, to work on it, get feedback from international mentors. And then they present in the judging panel, and of course get pretty awesome awards. This year we're going to have tablets and mobile phones from Samsung. We're also going to give a few free licenses from GitHub, free licenses from Teleri, and free tickets for SparkMe, which is the largest startup conference in the Balkans, and Digitalk in Sofia. This is the promo code for everybody who's interested. We also are open not only to Macedonian participants, but anybody who wants to join us. And also on this session, I would like to give 5 free tickets for the event. That means that all you need to do is tweet something on the hashtag #AustaraWeekendSkopje. And the first 5 people who are going to tweet something on the hashtag will get a free ticket. I promise you it will be very fun. It's going to be next weekend.
Really good news is that the slide was missing from my new presentation next week. Take it away. Okay, so I don't have to keep you about this. I'll ping everybody who puts the tweet of it if they have gotten a free ticket. So, this is all from me. If you have any questions now, okay. If you don't have any questions, then you're free to go to lunch. We have actually 2 more minutes to lunch, but